And as I see, many of you here are high school students or used to be high school students, right? So I bet many of you have once dreamed of turning your high school life into a stunning collection of achievements, awards, competitions, extracurriculars, all of it. In other words, a shining profile that makes anyone read it note and say, this student is scholarship material. But have you ever experienced submitting so many competitions that your whole drive fills up, not with schoolwork, but with competition entries, or the feeling of refreshing your email 20, 50 times a day just to receive that one classic sentence? Thank you for your participation. And I still remember that feeling vividly. It was almost 11 p.m. I'd been staring at my screen for hours straight, eyes red, still typing the final words for my competition entry. And I kept tweaking one sentence, deleting another, changing the title, replacing a word with a smarter synonym. And at the back of my mind, a scenario was playing, me opening the inbox and saw the line. Congratulations, you won first place. And I imagine taping the certificate next to my desk and admiring it every day before going to bed. But after all my effort, I gained nothing. Nothing to prove my worth, to make me stand out. Actually, I've lost countless of competition that I've tried, all kinds, public speaking, startup pitches, or graphic design. And I still remember my very first business plan. It was basically a PowerPoint with pretty icons and a fancy title, because I had no idea what I was doing then. I just literally Googled how to make a proposal that looks professional. I spent hours figuring out how to align the text boxes, choosing the font, and 2 more hours understanding what variable cost meant, just to end up putting a random number in my proposal that sounded reasonable. There were nights I called my friends. We kept fixing the slides and arguing over tiny details and keeping each other awake by telling some funny stories. But after all my effort, I still gained nothing. The result was always the same. Thank you for your participation. So, at first, I was really disappointed. The kind of disappointment that feels like you've been swimming for really far for a really long time. But when you look back and realize you're still near the shore. And some of my friends, they once asked me, you are still joining contests? Aren't you tired not winning anything? And I admitted that it was true, because the prize had been my first goal. But if I never won anything, so why was I still here? What made me keep going? So, many people usually tell me that if you want to be special, to stand out, you need to make both moves, to step out of your comfort zone, to break out your own cocoon. And I did it. I pushed me into a competition that I was scared of. I failed, but I kept going anyway. But after all, I gained nothing, no prize to prove my worth. to make me stand out. And I started asking, what kind of cocoon was I in? So there was one night. I laid in the bed and opened all my folders. Each folder had the name of a competition that I had participated in. But honestly, each folder was like a different level of my ảo tưởng sức mạnh. I clicked through and couldn't stop laughing. One essay had the conclusion, twice as long as the body, just say one thing: we should take action. One slideshow had perfectly aligned text, but the animation exploded like fireworks. Or one image still had the subtle stop watermark, and there were entries I wrote, rewrote again and again, but never dared to submit. I didn't just keep scrolling. I didn't just see all my mistakes. I saw someone who was really enjoying this process. I remember how it felt to turn my messy, chaotic ideas in my head into something concrete, a design, a proposal, a story. I remember laughing with my teammates on late night calls, debating 20 minutes whether the background should be light blue or dark blue, or why do we even need this paragraph. I remember how it felt to explain our ideas to the judges and defend our brand judge. Nervous, yes, but extremely excited. That's when I realized, more than chasing a reward, I was truly living in the whole process. The late night calls, the overthinking, re-editing, the messy traps, the small breakthroughs. I believe is true happiness. It doesn't come from an immediate reward, but from the pursuit of something greater. It's found in peace of knowing I'm becoming who I want to be. Not a girl with the most rewards, but who keeps chasing her dream, keep trying, keep learning and showing. And for me, that's also a kind of success. So that's when I realized that this time, my cocoon wasn't made of fear or limitation, but of expectation. Our cognitive show that success must come with the images of glory, like standing on podiums, holding trophies, and being celebrated. We often chase external rewards because they're clear, measurable, and easy to celebrate. However, real fulfillment comes from something deeper than that. In Japanese culture, though the word that is used in the names of many traditional arts, such as shadow, the art of tea ceremony, budo, the Japanese martial arts, and shodo, the art of Japanese calligraphy. The suffix do in the names means the path, but it's not a physical road, but it's the path of discipline, spirit, and inner cultivation. Shadow, the way of tea. It's not about brewing the perfect cup of tea, but it's about practicing stillness, humility, and patience to pour tea as if time has slowed down to honor the moment. Budo, the way of the warrior. It's not about defeating an opponent, but it's about taming inner chaos, to stand firm in mind with courage, clarity, and respect. And shodo, the way of calligraphy. It's not about beautiful strokes, but it's about revealing writers' inner words, learning emotional balance and presence in every life moment. So the suffix do doesn't emphasize the outcome, such as achievements or victories, but the process of self-cultivation through discipline and enduring practice. Through this philosophy teaches us that true mastery doesn't lie in technical perfection, but in the transformation of the inner self. Through every repetition, every challenge, every moment of practice, we don't just become better at the art. We cultivate our spirit, character, and way of life. and I believe this is true happiness. The kinds that come from deep satisfaction and fulfillment derived from pursuing meaningful goals and striving for inner improvement. It's not the moment you reach the top of the mountain and raise your fist in victory, but the process of falling in love with the hike. It's not about short-term pleasure, but about long-term journey. It's not about destination, but about what we've been through, because that journey gives us more than just a reward, a deeper understanding of ourselves. My journey through many competitions is my own though. It started as a goal to win, but slowly shaped my identity. The times I stayed up researching things I'd never heard of before, spent hours designing slides for a ridiculous idea, those moments shaped my passion for creativity. Or the times my group argued, someone dropped out in the middle. That's when I learned to not to blame, but to listen, to be patient, to respect others, and to stay grounded when things fall apart. And I believe that those experiences shaped my character. And every rejection, every failure shaped my resilience, the ability to stand up and try it again. Not because I knew I would win next time, but I believe that it was worth going all the way. So, Edmund Hillary, the first man to reach the top of Mount Everest, once said, "It's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." It isn't just a personal quote, but it captures the essence of every life, every growth journey. Mount Everest, with 8,848 height, freezing temperature, lack of oxygen, and life-threatening risks, stand as a symbol of the harshest limits a human can face. But what made Hillary truly remarkable wasn't just that he reached the top, but how this journey transformed him. He didn't succeed on his first try. He failed, but he kept going. He spent months training, learning to adapt to the cold, lack of oxygen, to the unpredictable weather. And he learned to endure when his body screamed to stop. He learned to trust his climbing partner with every step they took. And this journey forced him to be patient, to humble and resilient. It tested his endurance and pushed him past his limits. So in the end, it wasn't just that a mountain he conquered, but it was himself. So imagine you're a climber, climbing your own mountain. Maybe your mountain isn't Everest, maybe your sport, your career, your challenge. Someone may reach the top faster, some may take a different route, but don't rush to say you made it. Because real growth doesn't happen at the moment you reach the top, but it happens along the way. When your legs are tired, when you doubt yourself, but you keep going anyway. When it happens on stormy day, when the path isn't clear, and when the summit feels too far. So whether you already carry a backpack full of achievements, just be proud. But don't forget that achievements, medals, and victories cannot define your value. It's the path you've walked, the obstacles you faced, and the person you've become along the way. But if you're still climbing, still unsure about your next step, don't stop, keep climbing, because every step forward isn't just a movement, it's power, not just reaching somewhere, but becoming someone. So, back to my story. After all my effort, I still haven't had any shiny trophy or certificate. But I have a wall covered by sticky note deadlines, dozens of submission files, and the unshakable belief that, okay, this time will be better than the last. So if today you haven't heard your name called yet, don't stop, keep working, because every step you take is how you become the person you're meant to be. And one last thing I want to tell you guys, Chẳng sao đâu nếu ta không huy hoàng. Thank you so much.